Hello, Wildlife family. It's Emily, your nutritionist, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about nutrition in this time with all the COVID craziness going on. So, several different things we're going to go over. We're going to learn how to make our own bone broth, elderberry syrup, a little bit about some food preservation because I know that a lot of things are limited right now. So, the first thing that I'm going to start with is bone broth. This is so easy and it's so nutritious. And what I have a bag that I keep in the freezer with bones from different things that I cook. And you can do this with bones from anything. What I have is the carcass from a turkey breast that I cooked and also from a whole chicken. So it's going to be kind of a combination bone broth. So all of that goes in there, all the gristle, cartilage, all that gross stuff. And I also keep a bag in my freezer, and anytime I cut up vegetables, I save the parts that we're not going to eat. So from celery, there's the end of a celery, the tops of some carrots, even the tops and bottoms of onions that we're not going to eat. Throw that in there. And yes, you can definitely buy commercial bone broth. This is cheaper. It's super easy. There are some versions that you can do with slow cooker, with your Instant Pot. This is a little bit of sliced up ginger. And then I'm just going to do some sea salt, some apple cider vinegar. This helps leach the calcium from those bones. Not very much. You don't want it to taste like vinegar. It's not delicious. And also a couple of bay leaves. So that's it. You fill this with water. And all we're going to do once this is full is put the lid on and kind of cook it forever and ever. And you cook it until the bones almost turn to mush. You strain it, you put it in jars. I freeze it in jars. I've never had a problem with the jars breaking really. If you're worried about it, you could even freeze it in plastic bags. I leave the lid a little bit on, but you just simmer this for a long, long time. So I'm going to link anything that I talked to you about today. I'm going to link recipes in the comments. And if you have any questions, I definitely want you to ask about this or anything else regarding nutrition and your immunity and all that stuff. So here, this is more about food preservation. The last time I was at the grocery store, there was very little left on the shelves. There's all this panic buying going on. I hope that that's about to calm down. If it doesn't, learning how to preserve your own fresh fruits and vegetables is going to be important. And there are several different ways to go about that. You can get kind of creative. I know that the frozen vegetables, it would be my preference to buy vegetables already frozen. It's easy. But you can also freeze your own. I'm going to do this with broccoli today, but you can do it with any vegetable that you would cook. So, I've got boiling water here. Throw my broccoli in there, put a lid on that. I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. So we're just going to let that hang out in there. And while that is cooking, another way that you can preserve some fresh vegetables is pickling. It adds a lot of flavor. This is my daughter's favorite way to eat onions. I'm going to do this with onions today. Heartier vegetables, carrots, onions, beets, all those things you can do a quick pickle and it makes them last a little bit longer. So this is a mixture of apple cider vinegar, water, salt, and a little bit of honey. If you're watching your sugar, you could do some Lakanto, some stevia, something like that. But that was just boiled briefly. Poured over some sliced onions in a jar. I'll let that sit in the refrigerator, several hours to overnight. And you've got a great topping for salads, sandwiches. I've used it in tacos. It's a lot more flavor as well as being longer lasting. So some other things you can do. I buy these enormous clamshells of greens, and I hear from patients all the time, what do? They go bad before I can use them all. Mine are starting to, can you see that? They're starting to kind of get a little bit funky. As soon as I open one of these clamshells, I put a paper towel in it. It soaks up the moisture, and the moisture is what makes those start to decompose more quickly. So put a paper towel in it. When they are still starting to get kind of wilty and they're like, well, I wouldn't want to really use that in, you know, a salad or something like that, I'm just going to pop these in the freezer. It will change the texture. You're not going to be able to take them back out and put them in a salad, but you can use them in soups. You can use them in smoothies. They are just fine for that. So there are also flavor bombs that you can do. Roasted red peppers are a great thing to do this with. You roast your peppers, you can do it in the onion. If you've got a gas cooktop, you can do it right on top of the cooktop. I don't have any today, or I would show you. You roast them, you throw them in the blender, freeze them in ice cube trays, and that's just this huge punch of flavor that, again, you can add to soups. Soups probably is the main thing you would do with that. So those are just some different ways that you can go about preserving your own vegetables. We don't want to waste anything right now. I mean, it's never a good idea to waste anything, but right now it's especially important to stay on top of this because we still want to get our nutrients. That's very important for your immunity. We want all of those bright colors. The bright colors are indicators of things like antioxidants and polyphenols and things that are great immune system boosters. All right, so my broccoli's been in there for 3 minutes. I'm going to take it out. It's this beautiful bright green. This is called blanching, easy technique. Over here, I've got an ice bath. This huge bowl is full of ice water. I'm going to put that broccoli in there to stop the cooking. Pull it off. I am going to dry it a little bit on a clean towel. I use my hands a lot in the kitchen. They're the best tools we have. If it bothers you, you can definitely use a spoon or something. So dry them a little bit. I've got a tray over here lined with some wax paper. I'm just going to put that in the freezer, freeze these in a single layer, put them in some plastic bags, and they will be ready to go, just the same as the frozen broccoli that you get in the store, maybe even a little bit more nutritious because it's fresher. All right, so I also want to show you how to make your own elderberry syrup. This is something that is sold out a lot of places right now. Super, super easy to make your own. If you can find the elderberries, and I did look, and right now they are available several different places. Etsy was the best place I found, oddly. You got to be kind of careful because people are trying to take advantage of the situation. They're price gouging. So, water, dried elderberries, and in here I've got the recipe that I'll link to calls for ground cinnamon. That's fine. I like to use cinnamon sticks. Some ground ginger and some cloves in there. So again, we're just going to turn on the heat. We're going to cook this down for 45 minutes to an hour. I just want it to really reduce. So once that is finished cooking, and we're going to cool it off as well, and once the broccoli is frozen, we'll be back to show you how to finish it all up, talk a little bit about water filtration. Okay, I am back, and our broccoli's frozen. I was just going to show you freezing it in a single layer like this. It just allows you to put it in this bag without it being in one huge clump. So we've got that nice and preserved. It can be used next week or next month, whatever we need to do. So, we've got our broth still cooking back here. It's gonna probably cook until late tonight. Sometimes I've even let it go overnight if I'm comfortable doing that. When I freeze that, it's gonna be a great option for, you don't have to freeze it, you can use it right away. You can use it in soups, or you can just drink it straight. When my kids get sick, when I get sick, one of my favorite things to do is something I borrowed from a picnic restaurant in Austin. It's called Butter Bones, and so I'll take some broth, a little bit of ghee, ginger, and sea salt. Make sure it's warm, blend that up. It gets frothy and delicious. That broth has a lot of collagen in it. The collagen is good for hair, skin, gut, nails, and joints. And it's just a great source of a lot of vitamins and minerals. So that's going to be a great thing to have on hand during this whole pandemic. Now, I've got my elderberry syrup. This is the elderberry, cinnamon, ginger, and cloves that I reduced. I'm going to bring it over here. This strainer is not really appropriately sized, and I've probably reduced this too much this time, so I'm just going to kind of do the best I can with what I've got. So scrape all of that out. I'm going to press it. Those dry elderberries soak up a lot of liquid, and we want to use all of that we can. So I press that, and I've got raw honey in here. The honey that I'm using is, it's Tool Creek, and you could use some from Creek House. Any kind of raw honey that you can find would be great. And the reason that you have to let this mixture cool before you mix it with the honey to make syrup is that there are some great enzymes, some very beneficial enzymes in honey that are destroyed by heat. Ideally, you'd have about equal parts of the elderberry mixture and the honey. So on this is good for prevention. Elderberry is a good preventative medicine. If you became symptomatic, we would want you to stop taking it. You can take it about a tablespoon a day, something like that for prevention, or something that my kids like. I've done this several times. We seem to be out. I've made elderberry gummies, so I will just link to that recipe. They like them enough that we're completely out. Okay, so, but all you do is you take this elderberry syrup, you mix it with some gelatin, you can put it in molds, you can put it in a pie plate, you can put it in a cake dish, whatever, and cut it up, and just eat those. They're a lot healthier than the fruit snacks or something like that you would get in the store. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is water filtration. I'm sure you've seen people coming out of the store with not just carts full of toilet paper, but also bottled water. People require an enormous amount of water, and more so when they are sick. It's really going to be difficult, if not impossible, to store enough bottled water if you have to be quarantined with your family for 14 days. So it's a good idea to have some sort of water filtration system. If you don't have one that's hooked up to your tap or something like that, there's a company called Clearly Filtered. They sell pitchers that you can filter your tap water through. They use a coconut carbon filter, filters out something like 99.8% of all toxins from the water. What I use for our family, and ours is really not even big enough for our family, but it is a Berkey system. And so it's a little higher, it just holds a little bit more water, still not quite enough for a family of 6, but also a coconut carbon filter. You can get some other filters that will filter out various things from your tap water. So, and it just stores a little bit more, a little bit pricier for sure, but another good option to have on hand. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you will let me know if you've got any questions about any of this, anything else related to nutrition during this pandemic, or any other time really. I'm happy to help. So let me know your questions, and thanks for watching.